Bitcoin is a scam part 2. A lot of times Bitcoiners will essentially talk about it like a cult, like, you heard of Bitcoin? Bitcoin's the future, and it'll rely on all sorts of fallacies, like, if the global currency market is worth $100 trillion, if even 1% of that becomes Bitcoin, Bitcoin will be worth $1 trillion, far more than its current valuation. Of course, that's bullshit. 1, Bitcoin is highly volatile. 2, there's nothing inherently backing it up. And when you point that out to Bitcoiners, they'll be like, neither is fiat money. And I'll be like, well, technically speaking, there's no gold backing up the US dollar. What's backing up the US dollar is an economy that produces a shit ton of growth, and it is actually worth a lot of money. Whereas in this case, Bitcoin is backed up by nothing. So, essentially, it's different from fiat money for that reason alone. Another thing I've noticed is there's a shit ton of these YouTube Bitcoin scammers. Basically, they have 2 tactics. You should invest in Bitcoin, which is a soft pitch, or COVID taught us to have more than one stream of income. Bitcoin is perfect for that. Basically, they're pitching you financial freedom. And they'll talk about, the next comment will be, stocks and bonds are good, but Bitcoin and crypto is better. Next, they'll tell you a story about how they got scammed by someone, like another, and that they lost like 1,500 pounds. It's always in fucking British pounds, even when they're trying to shill to Americans. So, and then they'll be like, Mr. Don Roberts recovered my money for me, and in 5 days, he turned a $1,000 investment into $5,500, which, if we do some math on that, that's a 500% return. A 100% return in 1 day is highly questionable. It's literally the tactics of a Ponzi scheme. Only in this case, they take your money once you're dumb enough to invest it. They run, they give you jack shit, and since Bitcoin's pretty unregulated, there's jack shit you can do about it. Also, another thing to note, these Bitcoin scammers always have 2 fucking first names. Who knows why? They just are. For example, Don Juan, Don John, Robert Roberts, shit like that. Another thing to notice, they'll be like, at first I was skeptical, but he assuaged all my concerns. I thought it was too good to be true, but it wasn't. Next, they'll give you, someone will be like, how can I contact him? Then they'll be like, here's his Wattpad number. And then the person will be like, thanks, I will do it. All these comments are literal bots. And you can tell that because, 1, the account will have literally no content on YouTube. There will be absolutely no history. It will be created immediately. And much like how YouTube has an influx of random bots posting nonsensical statements, like, the flying meringue jumped over the bridge. You can tell these are bots because, well, each one will basically be replying in a row. It won't flow like a real conversation. It's clearly some sort of AI program. And much like Chinese paid trolls, some of those Chinese paid trolls are not bots, but real people. It's just their English is so terrible that you can absolutely tell that they're a paid bot. That they're paid. In this case, the first comment will always have good English. The second one will sound like it's written by some sort of Nigerian or Indian scammer. And before you call me a racist, I mean, it will sound like it's written by someone whose English is either their second or third language, and it's dog shit as a result. Then they'll mention that he changed their life forever in a good way. And they'll be like, I'm so thankful, and then a lot of times, they'll throw in a, God bless you and prosperity or something like that. That's to scam the religious people. Since this is still going on, I have to assume that it's somehow successful. And my first Bitcoin video had 100 of these scam comments that YouTube flagged and took down. I almost wanted them to stay up to just show you how much of a scam Bitcoin is. But my guess is it's probably fooling college students, people with no experience, or elderly people, like a retiree with their pension, because they're like, oh, have you heard of the Bitcoin? Oh, my my grandson invests in that. This sounds like a good thing to do. Then all of a sudden, all my money's gone. What am I supposed to do? So, yeah. One of you guys requested a part 2 to this. The comments on part 1 were hilarious. I like how a lot of you said that you look like a virgin. You look gay. I like how that's automatic, how a lot of you guys, some of the commenters think that that's a good argument. But basically, Bitcoiners, whenever you point out that their system is horribly flawed, they'll attack you and basically be like, lol, gay virgin. Essentially, it's very cult-like behavior. Anywho, I'm going to try and film all my videos the right way. Like, comment, and subscribe if you've not done so. Bitcoin is a scam part 2.